Hey folks, I want to give you some insight into why you're working on both of the projects that you're working on this semester. First, I'm going to give you a little bit of background that went into my thinking for designing these two reports in the way that I have. And then second, I'm going to talk about each of the reports specifically. So first, the background. The internet, okay, stop me if you've heard this before. It's huge and it's growing. Oh, great insight. But what this has led at, but I've been saying this for well over a decade, and so it's been growing. But I mean, it's huge now. It's beyond our imagination, and so what this has led to is it's essentially impossible to not be able to find information on some particular topic. It's there. It just is. And usually there's a lot of this information. What's hard is not finding information. What's hard is finding good information and knowing where to look. Nothing's more invaluable in business or in school or in the world than knowing someone who knows stuff, but besides that, who can find out stuff. When you have a question, you know where to go to look. When there's something that we want to know, the good and the bad, or the pros and the cons, how to construct an argument, whatever it might be, you know where to go look. Okay, so that's sort of my background on the internet. Now, also on reports themselves. Reports used to be, this is just reports in general. Reports used to be valuable if they existed. Just if they existed. They were so hard to put together, and they took so much research and so much work. The fact that they exist used to be a big deal. Okay, that's not the case anymore. It's reports need to be updated now. People can put together a report. It's not, in a sense, that hard to put together some kind of report, but you get sort of ticked off if it's too old. Okay, someone wants that report to be updated. So you need to build these reports, whatever report it is, knowing that it has a short shelf life. Okay, so you don't want to put too much work into it, but you don't want to put too little that it's no good. So the idea of a report has changed. All right. So now that leads us to the two reports you're doing this semester. First, your personal project. This report is newsletter is not about the technology. If we're about the technology, I mean, it's a 5-minute process to figure out this technology. It's just no big deal, right? If you had trouble figuring out this technology, there's some serious issues. I mean, the idea of this technology is you click on the bookmarklet and then you type a summary and you hit enter and it comes out beautiful. I mean, that's it. There's really nothing to it. So it's not about the technology. It's about developing the habits of work and information gathering. Okay, so that's what this is about. It's about consistency. Okay, newspapers. I've said this to some of you before. Newspapers are not printed once in one huge stack at the end of the year, saying, "Well, this is what happened last year." That's not how it works. Running a marathon is not the same as running 26 miles separately. It takes different habits to develop that competency. Writing a 1-paragraph paper is not the same as writing a 10-page paper. The length matters. The effort, the thinking, the process, all are different. So It's also about developing your information network. Okay? It's about having consistent, good, high quality sources of information that come to you easily so that it's not hard for you to gather the information. So, RSS feeds, big deal here. Having search-based RSS feeds or having news-based or blog-based, whatever it is, probably all three in different mixes for different topics, probably all three matter. So you don't want it to be a lot of work to gather these newsletters. It can be. It could be ridiculously hard and a lot of work. Developing these sources, though, that's the key. Once you've done that, then it's just a matter of sitting down, picking out the ones you want to highlight, and going. But if you have to sit down and think, how am I going to find what I'm going to write about today, that's going to be a lot of work. Okay, so it's about developing the information providers, but it's also about developing a point of view for filtering and summarizing and creating a cohesive whole so that the reader has an idea of where you're coming from, but also what they're going to be getting. You know, signing up for a newsletter that's just sort of, here's random stuff for the day, that's not going to get anyone's attention. But if it's about a specific topic and it's known that you have a specific take on that topic, then that's where the value comes. Okay? So, and that helps filter down this fire hose of information into sort of a cohesive whole, a cohesive stream over time. Okay, so that's what this personal report is about. It's not about the technology. It's about all these other things, about work and technology habits, consistency, developing your own information providers that come to you, as well as developing a point of view and expressing it over time. Okay, your professional project. Now, I want to talk about that. So this is about learning to organize information in a different way. Reports that you've written, reports that have been written, since Gutenberg, have been linear. Right? You know, there's a beginning, there's a middle, and there's an end, and you flip the pages or scroll the scroll, whatever it might be, and you know where you are in the document. Okay, we've been trained how to do that from the time we were writing our first little papers, writing our first sentences, putting them together, going through high school, going through college. That's what we've been trained to do. Well, this is a different kind of report, and one that actually particularly well is supported by wikis and Wikidot in particular. This report is about treating your source documents and the URLs where you get these as worthy of sort of gathering, worthy items of analysis. And it's about building a living report, one that is assumed from the very beginning that it's going to be updated, that it's going to change, that it's going to be out of date really soon and in need of an update. So why not build the report with instructions for updating in it and make it built on a foundation that's easily modified, i.e. not paper, but a wiki, where it's really quick and easy to update a page, to add a link, to add graphics, to add RSS feeds, whatever it is, to add pages, to add links between the pages, reorganize completely, okay? That's what it's about. So, in this case, the tool is important. It's not, in a sense, the reason that you're doing this report, but it is important because it enables you to do this kind of report. But what this report is about thinking differently about what it means to report on a topic, about what it means to provide something of value to the reader. Why write all this stuff? Why recreate all the analysis that other people have done, probably better than you could do. Why do that? Why not just point to it, provide really short summaries? This is what you'll find when you get there. Please go read this. That's what this is about. Thinking about this whole process of creating a report differently. I hope you end up taking this with you wherever you go. Okay? I would be just eternally shocked if you're not creating reports like this 5, 10, 20 years into the future. A paper report? What the heck is that? Why would we do that? Okay, so that's what this is about. And that's what the personal report is about. It's a different way of thinking about information and a different way of thinking about your relationship to the information and your relationship to the reader of the report that you're going to be creating. Okay? So, let me know if you have questions. I hope this helped as you sort of enter the home stretch for putting these two projects together. See you soon.